Thank you, Vitre, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you guys about the retail sector. I'm calling this the retail revolution. We are in the midst of a retail revolution, a fundamental change in the retail landscape. A look into the history of retail, just a little bit more history, should give us a little peek into what we're going to see also in the future. The infancy of modern retail took place and shape in the main streets of downtown. Department stores surrounded by hard goods, soft goods, service retails, restaurant, all took place and took their positions jockeying around the department stores of Main Street. That lasted until the 50s, when the regional mall was created. Bring in large department stores, give them their real estate, and then the next 50, 100, 200 stores will naturally come to follow. In the 70s, festival retail, such as Faneuil Hall in Boston, and also outlet retail started to take shape. These allowed retailers to begin to expand their footprints. These concepts came to sell to destination retailers and tourists looking to spend their day or just looking for bargains. In the 80s and 90s, guided by pressure from Wall Street, retailers continued to expand by densifications, and then the retailers went to the suburbs. Anchor stores, which were essentially pieces of the department store pie, calling themselves promotional retailers, all took separate storefronts or boxes and created a cohesive project known as the Power Center. It was a 300,000 square foot up to 1 million square feet or more. They were specialized, value-oriented, and created regional hubs in suburbia. There were electronics, clothing, shoes, fabric, books, toys, restaurants, and services. Then in the early 2000s, the Lifestyle Center came to be. It took the Power Center and added small shops and boutiques and created an outdoor, fun, and comfortable environment. And together, the Power Centers and Lifestyle Centers were chipping away at the regional malls. And let's be frank, the regional malls were starting to get tired. They just weren't as fun to shop at anymore. So the only ones that were able to maintain their market share were the A malls in nicer areas, higher density, and higher income areas. In the early, this leads us to the revolution that we are in right now. Mall retailers and department stores are struggling and failing at higher and higher rates. Owners of these malls are wondering today, what do we do with the real estate that has been so vibrant for so many years? What do? We entertain. Amusement, pleasure, fun, enjoyment, interest, diversion, all ways to entertain. Theaters with bars, theaters with breweries, Dave & Buster's, Top Golf, music venues, breweries, and of course, restaurants and bars. Gather them together and you have another anchor that draws more people, spending more dollars, and having more fun. Now, looking at this brief condensed version of history shows us one thing. Retail has actually always been in a constant revolution. Downtown streets to suburbs, malls to power centers and lifestyle centers, and now back to infill. Dense areas where people can work and play. Now, as we look at how all this impacts our city of Charleston, as much as we would like to think we're a little bit different, the retail bones of Charleston market is they're very similar to other healthy markets, high growth markets around the United States. Broken down into suburbs, we'll have the peninsula first. This is our unique jewel. High street retail, world-class restaurants and bars driven by tourism, daytime employment, healthcare, and education. In the heart of the retail section of King Street, which has seen unprecedented growth in rents, $50 rents pushed into the 70s and potentially 80s, which were just a decade ago in the 30s, pushed into the 40s. We keep asking ourselves, have we reached the peak? Likely not. Upper King Street bars and restaurants are seeing rents in the 40s, driven up into the 50s. Numbers we are seeing, similar numbers we are seeing on Lower King, Broad Street, East Bay, and the Market. Traditional shops are in the 20s. Vacancy rates are in the 6 to 8% range. In West Ashley, the new Whole Foods Market is under construction, and the rebranding of Citadel Mall is now underway with its sports-oriented, anchored mall mixed-use hybrid project. Rents for outparcel shops, similar to other suburban markets in Charleston, are in the mid-30s, pushing to the 40s for high-profile new construction. Traditional shops are in the 20s, and vacancy rates are in the 8 to 10% range. In Mount Pleasant, Lowe's Home Improvement is under construction. Proposed new retailers include Costco at Carolina Park, Home Depot at 6 Mile, and maybe even a Fresh Market across from Lowe's Home Improvement at Mount Pleasant Town Center. We'll see. Generally, rents are in the mid-30s for outparcel shops, mid-teens for junior anchors, and 20s and 30s for shop rents. Mount Pleasant Town Center is really the outlier for suburban Charleston as far as rent goes. They're pushing $40 rents and into the 50s, depending on the landlord build-out that you get. Construction costs are also impacting all of these, as construction costs have been driven up quite a bit over the last 5 years. In North Charleston, Burlington has committed to a piece of the Sears box, and Old Time Pottery has filled North Charleston Center to full occupancy. Thanks, Jeff. Outparcel rents are still in the 30s, with shop rents in the high teens and 20s, and junior anchors in the $10 to $12 range. Vacancy rates remain low in the 8 to 10% range. In Somerville, BJ's has opened, Sam's Club is proposed, and then Academy, Burlington, Hobby Lobby, they've all been jockeying around looking for positions in the last 2 to 3 years. Where will they go? Will Nexton be able to be or take away and shift the retail market to the other side of the interstate? I'd say yes, especially given the residential dynamics, but it's just a matter of when. Outparcel shops in Somerville remain in the 30s, with shop spaces in the 20s and the junior anchors in the low to mid-teens. Vacancy rates remain very low in the 5 to 7% range. Now we look to the future. Cainhoy and high-growth Somerville are beginning to take shape from a residential standpoint. Retail follows. Retail follows the residential. We've already seen Publix commit to Cainhoy and Harris Teeter buy a piece of the Nexton project. Cities are being created by the residential dynamics. Now, other projects include Magnolia, McAlloy, Centerpoint, Bass Pro, and the Citadel Mall rebranding. Retail will play a significant role in how these projects grow, and it'll be really interesting to see how they take shape. Another piece of the future is these food halls. We've already talked about restaurants as anchors. The food hall is another indication of this trend. The best located halls, which command a presence and are able to adapt to customer preferences, are the ones that will succeed long term. Finally, we have the internet. Its impact with Amazon's acquisition of Whole Foods Market has already been a major contributor to today's revolution. We'll never be in a completely online market, but the newer, successful retailers are going to have both an online and a bricks and mortar, an omni-channel presence in order to be the next big thing. Thanks for letting me into your afternoon. Vitre?